We're here at Unpub 3 with Mike Young, and he's going to talk to us now about his game Escape from Pirate Island. It's a cooperative pirate game.
It is a cooperative pirate game. I like to think of it as a cooperative adventure game for 1 to 5 players. You can indeed play it solo. I call it a cooperative adventure because I found that it sort of tells a story, the story of your narrowing escape from Pirate Island. You see, you and your friends, the other players, have been shipwrecked on hazardous, deadly, evil Pirate Island, a place with swamps and hot springs, and of course enemies like pirates and headhunters and skeletons. And these things all want to kill you, and an exploding volcano that also wants to kill you. But you've heard that somewhere on Pirate Island there is a pirate treasure, and if you can just follow the treasure map to the secret locations on the treasure map, you can fight your way onto the pirate ship and escape from Pirate Island with your friends. Or you can all die and lose the game. But it's a cooperative game, but just so you all win or lose together. It's kind of a little complex to explain how it works without having everything here and all the moving parts, so I will simply explain the parts. There are hexes, and you will move. These will form the map of Treasure Island. Pirate Island. The backs of the hexes, they almost all start face down as just jungle that you're trying to explore, and then after you've explored it, you find out whether it's something good, like the lobster traps, which give you food, or whether it's something bad, like the hot springs, which will kill you. Well, they won't immediately kill you. You need to do something to survive them. Almost everything on Pirate Island is trying to kill you, but if you're resourceful, you can get through it. Hot Springs, and I don't know if you can see it, has a tiny little treasure map island on treasure map icon on it as well. Ooh,
Expensive zoom.
And that means that if you use the hot spring, if you get the hot springs card in the treasure map, you need to go to the hot springs to find the next clue on the treasure. I mentioned lobster traps. Lobster traps give you food. At the start of each turn, you use this food track to track how much food you have, and at the start of each turn, you lose a food. If you have no food and you need to eat a food, which you need to do at the start of your turn, you will lose a resource. If you lose all of your resources, and characters can only hold 3 resources each, I'm afraid you've starved to death. Lots of ways to die on Pirate Island. Only one way to win. And then, at the end of each of your turn, there are events. Events, sometimes they're good, like provisions, which will give you 2 food, but more likely they're evil, like this volcano erupts events, which causes the volcano erupt, which puts a lava token on the map. Now, we've noticed that this hot springs is a hazard hex because it has this little yellow or blue. That means you need to discard a yellow or blue resource to the people following at home. If a lava token is on a hex, it turns that hex into a hazard hex, making it that much more difficult to traverse Pirate Island. Sometimes events are somewhere between the two, like snakes, which causes you to discard one of your resources to get away from the snakes, but if it's a red resource, you've killed the snakes, so you get a little food. It takes about 45 minutes to play Escape from Pirate Island. Every time you play it, it's a little different. I've seen just at this convention we've had one in which half the island was covered in lava, and another one in which there were so many enemies it was impossible to go anywhere without running into something that was trying to kill you.
Let me ask you a question real quick. Sorry to interrupt you. Let me see one of your tiles.
Okay.
So the tiles have numbers on the sides.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Okay. So every tile has numbers on the sides, and that is actually a determination of how enemies move. Enemies move in a pseudo-random fashion during the game. I don't know if you can pan down to this or not. because I can't hold up that many things. Let's say you have an event, like this event at the bottom of the card says that headhunters and pirates move. That means for every pirate and headhunter on the map, it will move. You roll a die, and it moves to that hex. So on a 1 here, it would go to the shipwreck. On a 2 here, it would go to the swamp. You choose whatever number is on the hex. That's also how you determine what hexes get lava, and a few other things, like if your character is confused, it might move to a random hex. Never affects player movement. Players are entirely in charge of their own movement, but it does mean that if your character is on a hex that is next to an enemy, there is always a chance that that enemy will move onto your hex and will then try to kill you. And so you might go, well, if you're moving around here, you might go, well, I don't think I want to go into the swamp. The swamp is a hazardous hex already. It has lava on it, which is going to make it even more hazardous. And then if I draw this card and pirates move, both these pirates could go on here, and so I will have to deal with swamp, lava, and 2 pirates, and I'm afraid poor Sarah probably can't survive that. So it's really, at its heart, it is a game of tracking the 3 resources, which is food, resources, and time, because you only have, once the event deck runs out, you're stranded on Pirate Island, and it's a game of risk mitigation. Is it too risky to do something? Do I need to waste some of my resources, like food and time, to hang back to get the resources I need to survive these? Or do I need to take the risk, go there now, get the benefit that I need from it, and then hopefully survive? So those are the main sort of decision points that players have on Pirate Island.
I remember playing thinking that the movement, the dice rolling with the movement of the enemies on the tiles was unique. So thank you for filling us in on that, and
Sure.
Thank you very much for coming and talking to us about the game. I think there's a lot of potential in it. So I'm glad you could spend some time with us.
Thank you. And if I may say so, am I allowed to say that Escape from Pirate Island is available for sale right now on thegamecrafter.com?
You are absolutely allowed to.
That's thegamecrafter.com. Do a search for Escape from Pirate Island. You can see that and a bunch of my other games that I didn't bring here this weekend that are available for sale there. And if you're a budding game designer who likes to design games, I've found that the Game Crafter is an invaluable resource. You can see the bottom of my head saying that.
Would you like me to go out and actually want to say it?
Hi,
It's
this
fine.
is the top of my head. No, my mouth hovered up at the top. It's it.
There you go.
Right.
Game Crafters is a great resource. We do recommend it. They've been instrumental in helping the Unpub program at several steps, so
Yeah.
we're glad to have them in as a supporter, and we support them. So Pirate Island is available there, and a lot of other games from Michael, and some of the other designers who are here this weekend at Unpub 3.
Yes.
Thank you again, Michael, for coming in and talking to us. I know you've got another playtest coming up real soon, I'm sure. So have fun and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you very much, John.